I just spent the last couple of minutes just talking to myself. I thought I was recording. Hi there, welcome back to the archives. It's December 11th. I wanted to do one more episode for the day. I went back to why does he do that inside the minds of angry and controlling men by Lundy Bancroft. And so I'm still working on this. I'm not done it yet. I'm about almost halfway. I still have a while to go. I wanted to share, I finished reading chapter 3 yesterday, so I wanted to get on here and kind of share what I've been learning about some of the different types of abusive men. So chapter 3 kind of goes into their mentality, right? What is the abusive, controlling, angry man's mentality? And so it goes to basically they're controlling. Control is a huge thing, right? They feel like they don't have a sense of control. And not only do they feel like they don't have a sense of control, but they feel like women are beneath them. And so women give them a space to feel a superior, right? It's a inferiority complex rooted in superiority. Women are primarily their targets to gain some sort of control in their lives. And so basically it says that they're controlling, right? There's there's a story here. It says Harriet started yelling at me on Friday. This is a Glenn who arrived angry and agitated in the group. So basically, Lundy Bancroft runs group sessions for angry and controlling men. Usually, they come by the time they've gotten to his group sessions because the legal system is involved. They've hit or beat their girls, their women, sometimes including children. And so this is how they get introduced. So this one guy says his girlfriend or wife, Harriet, she started yelling at him on Friday afternoon. She told me that she was going to leave and move out soon. Then she left for the whole weekend and took my 2-year old son with her. She really hurt me. So I decided to hurt her too. And I wanted to go after something that was really important to her to show her what it's like. She's been working for a week on this college paper that she put a lot of hours into and was going to hand it in on Monday. She left the paper sitting right there on top of the dresser, just asking for it. So I tore it up into little pieces. Then I ripped up a bunch of pictures of the three of us. I left it all in a nice pile on the bed for her to come home to. I think she learned something from that, right? So it's like, how dare you leave? I'm going to destroy not only you, but this thing that you really worked hard for. And that's usually what happens. It's economic violence. They feel justified, which is one of the themes in the book. Is that a lot of these men don't do anything that they don't think that they shouldn't is out of pocket. They all feel justified in doing what it is they do, right? And so, yeah, basically they use emotional manipulation. They use arguments. They feel entitled, and so there's a diagram here of like how it should be, right? Like men, women, basically equal. Child, obviously, a child has like smaller entitlement, but for a lot of these men, this is how they see it. They are the big dogs, right? I'm entitled to all of this. You as a woman, small girl like you as a child, oh yeah, why? Oh, akwara ketewa. Oh, you wouldn't nipa. Oh, so small girl like you. So that's the kind of mentality. I'm the big dog, right? I came from Adam. You came from my rib, you whore. Small girl like you, right? So it's just that's the mentality. It's just they see themselves as more superior. And so everything they do to you is justified because they are above you. So I wish, again, like I said, I wish I had read this because it would have saved me a lot of, I don't know what it would have saved me from. But so it says how he twists things into their opposites. Um, he isn't abusive because he's angry. He's angry because he's abusive. That's something I didn't realize. And then they'll say that you're the one that's abusing them, so they'll switch it on you, right? He disrespects his partner and considers himself superior to her, like I said. Basically, it says abuse and respect are direct opposites. You do not respect someone whom you abuse, and you do not abuse someone who you respect. So it's actually a lack of respect, right? Sometimes they'll be like, oh, it's because I love you so much. And you hear parents say that too. I beat you because I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to prepare you for the world. That's why I abused you. That's a logic, right? But it's not. That's, you don't do that to people you love. It's a form of control. I didn't beat you because I love you. I beat you because I needed to have control of this moment. And so an abusive man often tries to convince his partner that his mistreatment is proof of how deeply he cares, but the reality is abuse is the opposite of love. The more a man abuses you, the more he is demonstrating that he cares only about himself. He may feel powerful desire to receive your love and caretaking, but he only wants to give love when it's convenient. So he's lying when he says, is he lying when he says, I love you? And he says, usually not. Most of the clients do feel a powerful sensation inside that they would call love, right? So for many of them, the only kind of feeling towards a female partner that they have ever had, and so they have no way to know that it's not love. I feel this intense desire, but usually that's a desire for you to devote your life to them, or a desire to have sexual access, or a desire to impress others by having you be their partner, or the desire to possess and control you, right? Ownership. You are their property. So it's not actually love. They feel, they love how you make them feel. And that has been true for a lot of different people that I've seen, right? He talks about manipulation and how sometimes a lot of these men have just always been using manipulation since they were young. I think manipulation is another one that's like gender neutral, right? As I've been going through, I'm also trying to see where I see myself in these, right? This is where, okay, this is where I could have been really abusive in the past. This is, yep, love bombing. I can definitely do the love bombing thing. So as I'm reading it, I'm also paying attention to where I've experienced it and to where I can see myself falling down that rabbit hole. Although I've also read before that when women abuse, quote unquote, it's usually in response or a defense protective mechanism against abuse. But again, that not to make an excuse, right? Because that's the same logic a lot of abusive men will say. They turn it on you. I abused you because you made me do it. That's not right. And so, yeah, it talks about different things like his mood changes abruptly and frequently. They deny the obvious about what he's doing or feeling. Right? I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not cheating. Convincing you that he wants you to do what's best for you. uh, there's a story where this guy wanted to go skiing and she didn't. She's like, I want to hang out with my friends, and then he just was like, oh, it's just because you're a bad skier and you don't. If you were, it's because you don't go. If you come with me, you could practice your skiing, and you're a quitter, and all of a sudden, like the mental gymnastics, and she's like, wait, should I go skiing with you this weekend? Right, the manipulation, and this is for your best interest. If you come skiing with me, you will become a better skier. Don't be lazy and hang out with your friends. And you're like, yeah, I am a terrible skier. Maybe I should come skiing with you, right? Getting you to blame yourself or to blame other people, getting you to feel sorry for him, using confusing tactics in an argument, lying or misleading you about his actions, his desires, or the reasons for doing certain things, getting you and people you care about turning against each other, right? Betraying confidence, being rude to your friends, isolating you. So, but another thing he said is like they usually have a really good public persona. Like people love them. People think they're really, really good people. They are very charming, right? Why, how come everyone else thinks he's so wonderful? Well, that's because he works hard to make sure everyone thinks he's wonderful, because that makes it harder for people to believe you when you go telling them that this is who he actually is, right? No one is going to believe you if all they see is a different version of him. And so the Lundy says this might look like he's enraged at home all the time, but really calm and smiling outside. He's really selfish and self-centered with you, but generous and supportive with others. Right? You see people publicly being so supportive and, oh, I'm going to this orphanage and I'm donating all of this money, but like they don't. They're really self-centered and selfish with you. Domineering at home, but will be like compromising and negotiate out in public with people. They're heavily negative about females while on their own turf, but really vocal supporter of equality when anyone else is listening. All of a sudden, they're feminists themselves. They champion women's issues. They love equality, but at home, it's a different thing. They're assaultive towards their partner or children, but they're non-violent and non-threatening to everyone else. They're entitled at home, but critical of other men who disrespect or assault women. So all of a sudden, they watch the Diddy doc and they can't believe Diddy, and that's so terrible that he did that. But meanwhile, Diddy's like their hero, and they do the same things at home. And so this can be really confusing to a lot of women, right? It leaves them kind of tongue-tied, and it just limits them from going and telling people because they're like, who's going to believe me? Everyone thinks he's a great guy, right? And so, but again, he's saying how like all of them, they feel justified in doing what it is they do, right? She knows how to push my buttons. She wanted me to go off. She knows how to make it happen. She pushed me too far. There's only so much a man can take, right? You expect me to let her walk all over me? Um, and then they deny and dismiss their abuse. So like again, the one of the themes in here is like they have a distorted reality, right? Like their version of reality is usually different from your version of reality, and they don't. It's just like I didn't do that. I didn't say that, right? What are you talking about? You're a fucking drama junkie. You're so sensitive. You're dramatic. I didn't do. What are you, right? You're making me look bad. And so it goes on and says they're usually possessive. They usually are jealous, right? They don't want you to meet other people. They want your life to be solely focused on him and his needs. And so, yeah, it's just basically like abuse and respect are opposites. Their abusers are far more conscious of what they're doing than they appear to be. And they are unwilling to be non abusive. It's not that they're unwilling, not unable. It's not that they're unable to change, it's just they're unwilling to change because they like the power it gives them. It's not that they don't want to change or they can't change, it's because they don't want to change because they like the control they have over you. Why would I give up this control? If I get to control you, if I get to manipulate you, if I get to have my way and you just pour into me and I don't have to pour into you, that's a win-win for me. Why would I want to change that? And so, um, and then it goes into, yeah, so basically that is some of their mentality, right? The abusive mentality. That's chapter 3. I'll do one more video on chapter 4, and then I think I'm just gonna leave it because I think sometimes as I'm reading this, I'm like, you don't want to also like give too much away because I think then men, once they start to see where the logic goes, it just, I don't know, it's just, again, I'm not done yet, but I'll continue reading. So these are some of the mentality of abusive person. Okay, so I'll do one more video for today on the types of abusive men. I didn't get into that yet. I'll get into that next. So until next time, I'll be right back.